Peace. It's the God Allah King Wize right here on this glorious day of wisdom. God Allah coming to born. Some say wisdom Allah God. It's all how your mathematics go. How you got mathematics. Yo, I ain't gonna be long right here. I'm over here building to be, building as usual. So I'm on YouTube live right here as well. So when you see me looking over here, I'm looking over here at I'm on YouTube live. And on YouTube live, you see me looking over here. I'm on Facebook live. I'm doing it at the same time, right? So I'm coming with wise words of wisdom on YouTube live right here. It's the wisdom of God Allah. So I'm gonna read something from My Life as a 5%er, a 36 chamber disciple. My life as a 5%er, 36 chamber disciple. Read something from this my book right here, right? So this page 69 right here. It says, keep in mind that there are secret societies and organizations that have secret knowledge. Some of these secret societies have been around for thousands of years, even millions and trillions. They all have different degrees of knowledge. The knowledge of the true identity of Allah is so profound. It's the highest of all knowledge. When you look at the socio-political science of the world, you see that everything is based on black and white. There is a dynamic relationship between the two. White supremacy has dominated the world over for thousands of years. European nations have dominated and controlled all nations of color on the planet. The lighter skinned people of the world have enjoyed an upper level socio-economic status. The darkest skinned people of the world have been at the bottom. Although the darkest continent, called Africa, contained the most precious of minerals and resources in her lands, which are for the manufacturing of significant goods, the dark continent of people is the poorest in the modern socio-economical communities of the planet Earth. This could only be unless a grand scheme is in play. The nation gave me the proper knowledge on how to put all of this in proper perspective. It gave me the awareness to intuit the divine solution. So, that's from right here. That's from My Life as a 5%er, 36 chamber disciple. It's some profound wisdom of God Allah in here. So these are my words, right? And sometimes those who watch me on social media, you might not think that, I'm coming from this perspective a lot of times, because, the wisdom of God gives me the ability to communicate on the highest level, meaning that I can communicate with the politicians, I can communicate with the clergy, high level ministers, if you want to say reverend preachers. And at the same time, I can communicate on the lowest level. I can communicate with the gangsters, the killers, you understand? The grimy demon type motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? I communicate with all that because I'm dealing with the science of the wisdom of God Allah walking and talking. So, this month right here for us in our nation is Earth Appreciation. We appreciate the Black woman. We put emphasis on it in this month right here, March. And I just want to be able to really say that it's important that we as a nation have our own customs, our own traditions, our own ways. This is how you bring about a new world. This is how you rise above white supremacy. A lot of people talk about, it's white supremacy going on. And, always racism, institutional racism. You hear these terms being consistently used, and they're being used for a long time, you know, all the way back from the civil rights movement, even before the civil rights movement, back in the era of Frederick Douglass, back in the era of Prince Hall, you know, with, you know, the Black Masonic, you know, movement in America that basically go back before the United States even became the United States, right? So you've had Black people fighting for our liberation from white oppression for a long time. So, you know, you got different people that's coming from different ways with this knowledge. Me, I represent this right here. When you see this right here, this universal flag right here is 8-point flag, and some got a 16-point flag. You know what I'm saying? That our big brother, Universal Sham God, was putting together, and he presented the Father, you know, with this. But it was a few of them that he was drawing up, right? And at the end result, it became this 8-point flag that we show and prove who we are as a nation. See, because we a nation, a lot of people don't understand that. Yo, the 5%, we a nation. We say the nation of gods and earths. You know, we say Allah's 5% or Allah's 5%ers. All of that fall up under this flag right here. So we got our own customs. We got our own traditions. We got our own ways of how we move. And we interact and coexist with everybody else. I got associates and friends that's Muslim. I got associates and friends that's in the Nation of Islam. I got associates and friends that's in the Moorish Science Temple. I got associates and friends that's Sunni Muslim. I got associates and friends that's Christian, Baptist, you know, different denominations of Christianity, different denominations of Islam. Personally, I represent the 5% nation of gods and earths. See, that's what I hold for my personal way. But I coexist with everybody else. I don't go about like seeking to like disrespect other people's ways. And I don't tolerate no disrespect against my way. So that's how I move with the wisdom of God, bringing about borning a new world, because the whole new world is about us. See, heaven, nothing else came after Allah the Father dropped this knowledge. Once Allah the Father dropped this knowledge of the identity of Allah right before us, for us to see and hear in real time, and let us know that what is within us is the supreme that has to come out of us. Only the wisdom of God can bring that out of you and make it be born alive. And so, yo, we not no Muslim gods. We not no Moorish gods. We not none of that shit. You understand? Not with this flag. With this flag right here, we none of that. That is something that has to be made clear. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand. See, one thing about me, if you read this right here, my life is a 5%er, a 36-chamber disciple, you would see how I traveled through different schools of thought, how I've studied various schools of thought, yet I remain founded with this. There's a certain skill it takes to do that. It's a certain type of skill set you got to have to be able to maintain your identity. That's why we say we enter all systems, but we remain the same. You know, I represent this flag high. You see what I'm saying? Yo, I'm the true and living God to the fullest. And some people say, well, why you got to say that? Because that's what the fuck I choose to say. That I choose to say that. You know, one thing I know about us as a nation, we critique every word a person say. No matter what, you're going to critique the hell out of some shit. So me, I don't get lost up in that, because you can get lost in the wisdom. I don't get lost up in the wisdom. I travel through it and come out remaining the same. So again, it's very important that you know what it is to be a part of Allah's 5%. What it really is to be a part of the nation of gods and earths. And even amongst us, we have discrepancy of what do we call ourselves? Do we call ourselves a lost 5%ers? Are we a lost 5%? Or are we the nation of gods and earths? Yo, it's all interconnected. It's all interconnected. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hit you with something, right? To show and prove to you an example of that. You got what you call the United States of America, right? But science this up. America is a continent. So we're talking about North America. And then you got South America. 2 continents, 2 different continents. North America. The continent of North America hold 3 countries, which are Mexico, Canada, and the United States, right? That's 3 countries that exist on the continent of America. However, check this out. This is the wise words of wisdom right here. This is my understanding. This didn't come from nobody else. I drew this up for myself in my own mind through my own intuition, right? Check it. When you see the stars and stripe flag, when you do our Pledge of Allegiance and all that shit, when you see that flag, they call that flag what? The American flag. They say that's the American flag. You ever pay attention? Listen to that shit. It's called the American flag. You probably don't catch what I'm saying though, right? I'm gonna break it down real simple for you. They call it the American flag. How could that flag cover the whole continent? How could that flag be the flag that represents the whole entire continent of America when it's 3 countries on the land that they call America? The continent, right? It's called the United States of America, right? It's interchangeable. So they say, I'm an American. But when people hear that term American, they automatically draw up the image in their mind of the United States. The United States has become the identity for the entire North America, for the whole entire North American continent. A Mexican is American too. A Canadian is American too. Why? Because, yo, they live and exist on the continent of North America. A Brazilian is American too. They just a South American. A Colombian is an American too. They just a South American. But the last part, American, is still there. Does that mean anything? Does it have any type of... It could. This is when you start talking about political terminology. What is the political terminology and what is the meaning of this in political terms? And who has set the standard for what the term is? All this came from some people coming together. They just came together and say, yo, we're going to agree to this. We will agree to this. We don't agree to this. Some will agree to that and some won't agree to that. At the end of the day, you still got to coexist. You still have to find a way to coexist so you can agree to disagree. And when it's not something that's detrimental to your identity and your existence as a person, it should not make a real big deal to you unless it's taken away from who you are. Right? So to my brothers who say they are lost 5%, yo, peace. To my brothers that say, the nation of gods and earths, peace. It's all, we all rep the same flag right here. We all rep the same flag right here. And we should study what the white man doing, the European doing, because they studied what we were doing in the ancient times, and they reversed it and used it against us by putting it in their own language. They put it on their own terms. And now you got to go study what Webster says or what Black Law Dictionary says to define what is the meaning of what's being said. So in Allah World Manifest, in this nation and how we move and how we operate, we define what the fuck we saying. I define my mathematics. Webster don't define my mathematics. The Black's Law Dictionary don't define my mathematics. The United Nations don't define my mathematics. Don't nobody outside of this nation define to me what my mathematics is, what my language is. That's the power that we got. That's what Allah brought to us. That's why we say, yo, peace, Almighty Allah, Allah, you justice. This is what Allah and justice set for us, right? So I go back to this, yo, I don't get caught up in the European holidays and, you know what I mean, those holidays and shit like that. And some people like, oh, why you don't do that? Because I motherfucking don't do it. That's why, because I stand on Allah world manifest. I'm firm on that, right? So this is how you set the tone. Because why? At one time, there was no such thing as St. Valentine's Day. There was no such thing as St. Patrick's Day. There was no such thing as Christmas. There was no such thing as the United States at one time, right? These men dealt with their own social equality, and they agreed to what their culture, their traditions, their customs are going to be. Simple and plain. And then because we were their slaves, chattel property, they just pushed that shit to us. We adopted that through living under their rulership, under their provision, like yo, we were their property. They gave us the names, our names, and all that shit. So when you start talking about freedom, you want your freedom. You got behind me, freedom though. You understand? God freedom said he freed the dumb. So yo, in order to get your freedom, you gotta free the dumb first. You gotta free the dome of the psychological chains of slavery, aka the ignorance that our emotions get caught up in, and we attach to it through emotional, you know what I'm saying? We get emotionally attached to this shit. And then it be a woman or the women who push it to the children. The woman be the first teacher of the children. So we have to teach our women right and exact. Yo, what is our culture? What is our way? And you got to bring energy to it. You got to bring love, peace, and happiness to it for it to be accepted. In order for you to plant a seed, you got to cultivate the ground. You got to, you know what I mean? You got to tilt, you got to work the soil a certain way and plant the seed there in order for it to properly grow. And it got to be properly watered in the proper sunlight, the sun and the moon, you know what I'm saying? Have attractive powers. So yeah, I'm not going to be long, man, because I got to get ready to move on the move. But I just want to drop that on y'all this morning because I ain't really been up here in a minute, like really building like this. This wild words of wisdom right here, especially on this YouTube live. Now I'm on Facebook live. But word, yo, you know, for the gods, man, for the earths, yo, we represent for who we are. And we teach others. But look, we don't push our way on nobody. But yo, nobody can push nothing on me neither. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it say, yo, to you be your way, to me be mine. And you got, yo, I got my Muslim brothers I know. They doing Ramadan right now. Yo, peace to the brothers and the sisters that's, you know, participating in their Ramadan. That's their culture. That's their way. You might have some brothers who go and add on with them with that. And that's peace too, though. You know, that's what you choose to do. You got some brothers who celebrate all type of different things. Okay, that's peace. That's what you're doing. But yo, as a nation, that's not what we do. As a nation, that's not what we do. You get what I'm saying? Like the United States got their ways and what they do. China got their ways and what they do. Russia got their ways and what they do. These different nations got their ways and what they do. They share similar things in some things, right? But they also got their own distinctive identity. And it always got to be somebody that's going to stand firm on what it is so it can be passed down to the next generation, When I look at the gods and earths, I look at us like, yo, we the greatest. You know what I mean? Like we the best, we the greatest, and all of that. That's how I look at it. It's like individuals who got sports teams and shit, and they're like, yo, my team is this, my team that. Yo, that's how I look at the 5% nation. Y'all ain't got no sports team. You know what I'm saying? My team is the 5% nation. That's my team. The nation of gods and earths, that's my team. and we the greatest, and we're gonna pop and move and show and prove throughout the whole entire universe. You understand? And we come in peace. That's the science on that. We come in peace. But at the same time, we don't fucking take no bullshit from nobody. Those that's trying to like act like you a part of us, try to like talk about what it is to be God or what it is and all that. Yo, get that shit right and exact. You might think you got it right. And then somebody gotta, you might run into somebody like, yo, man, that's not right. How do you validate something? You got to take it back to the root. You got to go back to the first generation, first 9 born, 14 born, 15 born in Medina, you got to get within that, in that era, 64 to 69. And even some of them going to have different ways of how they kicking it. You know what I'm saying? But certain basic things, is a certain common theme, though, that exists throughout the whole total population of the 5% nation. It's certain things like, certain gods that comes from certain shit. Like, I can tell, we got that shit from somewhere else. That ain't a part of us. That's not a part of our nation. It's not a part of who we are. So I can listen to you. I can have a conversation with you and tell if you one of us. I can tell if you one of us. I can listen to how you build. We can go through the degrees. We start traveling through the lessons and start traveling through degrees. I'm like, hold on. Where the fuck you get that from? And see, the thing about me, I study a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? I might be studying the Ifa. I might be studying the Metu Netta. I might be studying the I Ching. I might be studying all type of shit. Because I'm a scientist. I'm gonna study all type of things. I study all type of stuff. At the end of the day, though, this is what I represent. I study all of that. And when it comes time for me to teach what it is to be God in this nation, I teach that. But if I'm just teaching, in general, because everybody not going to be a part of the nation. I don't go around like, everybody part of 5%. No, I know everybody in part of the nation. So I have the ability to speak multiple languages because mathematics is a universal language. So I build with all type of people. I study knowledge. I love knowledge. I read a lot of things. I study a lot of things. And when you understand how our nation was actually constructed, it was a lot of things that was implemented into the nation and weaved into who we are. It was weaved into who we are. But those individuals were qualified to weave it into there. So if somebody is trying to bring something and institute something new into our nation, because our nation is an evolving nation. It's a young nation that evolves. So it's certain new things got to be innovated to carry us into the next level, But it has to be based back into the root, though, the origin. You got to understand the ethos. The ethos is like, what is that? What is that? Characteristics of God. You understand? Because again, like, we not no Moors. We not the Nation of Islam. You understand? See, we not none of that. We not no Muslim God. We not none of that. So you got to be able to know what is what. That's just the bottom line, yo. Peace. Pardon self. I'm talking about my black queen. You know what I'm saying? We had a beautiful time over the weekend. But I appreciated her, because of the Earth Appreciation Month. So it's part self on that piece. But I want to add this part in it. To the gods, all of my brothers who know me, you gotta keep it all the way power, meaning truth. If you want more than one woman, right? Let her know that. If you want her and someone else, let her know that. That's the power. Let it be put up front. I always tell my queen, look, if another woman is to come into this kingdom, into this cipher, they got to go through you. What do I mean by that? I understand God can have more than one woman. I understand that. True indeed. That's a fact. That's a part of the culture. That's our lifestyle. How do you express that though? How do you operate within that in that type of science of life? So, my queen calling me now. That's crazy. I'm about to give her the end of this live so I can talk to her right quick though. You know what I'm saying? But check it out. I'm about to give her the end it. You gotta go. I'm gonna keep it right here. she got to go through, yo, if another woman want to get part of this cipher right here, you got to go through my queen, right? You got to go through my earth. And what I mean is, you got to get her to see the science in it. Yo, I already see the science in it. But the respect that I have for her, I have a certain high level of respect for her. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm going to show and prove this right and exact about being God. It's a lot of brothers that come with this shit right here. It ain't no shit. And you become with this fake ass shit and you fuck it up. Where individuals don't have the respect of God. Because you blemish the reality of God with your fucked up ways. You know what I'm saying? Now I understand certain brothers had to go through certain things because you got to build and make this thing right and exact in a world of haters and opposition of white supremacy culture. But we pull from the history of our big brothers who came and did it, what they did and how they did it. They did it the best way they knew how to make things come to be what needed to be for to grow this nation. Now, us in our time, we got to continue to perfect that. And we got to make sure our women and children understand what it is to be a part of this. And we got to make it where they are being treated with the proper nourishment, the proper love, the proper type of energy that nourishes a person's mind to grow and also cultivate the emotions in a healthy way. Peace.